said 1855 board members.
Owners, or who are we talking about?
Huh? Welcome back, Terry. Terry used to be our chairman of this board, and I thank him for stepping up to the plate and continuing to keep this important board going throughout the 2 years I was absent. But when I was former chairman, both me and Terry had a big play and big role in the 1855 board, along with Frank, Dale, Joe, and other board members here. So I just want to welcome Terry back. And I knew he would be here to support it and to be part of it. And he's chairman of White Earth now. That's really good. And he's also a big part of our board now, so he can join forces again and be a board member if he wants. And also, Kevin, want to thank you for hosting this meeting again for us, and appreciate you having interest in wanting to be part of this too, because we're all one and we all know and understand that as an Anishinaabe. And Kevin's goes way back with my mother and my family, you know, so I have all the respects in the world for Kevin, and he's very knowledgeable and experienced when it comes to our history and treaty rights. So I myself, as a RBC member friend, I listen to him when he talks and I learn from him. So I'm glad he's here and he's showing interest in helping us, our efforts out, and moving this 1855 treaty forward, and in the long run, us all exercising and enjoying our sovereignty rights of exercising our gathering rights wherever we want in our ceded territories. We probably should have did this 25, 30 years ago, but it's never too late to start something that's always been there, entitled to all of us. So any recommendations or discussion on adding the 1855 board members? I believe everyone's comfortable where the East Lake Mille Lacs, I'm sure that will stay the same. The board members, everyone's still on board and still interested, so there won't be no changes on the Mille Lacs level that I'm aware of. And I was hoping Michelle would have been here too, or Need, so we could have got some kind of direction or answer if they were going to support and help the cause too on a $10,000 donation. But I can reach out to Caroline and Need and just see if they can help the cause out again, because both White Earth and Leech Lake already stepped up to the plate again. So, any other comments from any other committee members or council here? All of us here play a big important role on why we're here. So,
But you forgot to mention, he is our new TEC president.
yeah, Kevin.
Kevin.
Yeah. My wife, this is a joke. My wife said, "Tell Kevin the old school played the new school." They tricked us, yeah. We voted 6-5 to have him be our president. Then next election came up and I got outvoted 6-5, and then it just followed suit, the other two officer positions. So they kind of out-strategized us and got 3 out of 4 anyway, when we could have maybe got at least 2, you know, based on the 6-6 deadlock tie on the first 2 elections there. So it was a deadlock, but it should send a loud, clear message to the MCT, though, letting them know that we're looking at them and watching how they do things for now on, you know, and there may be some things we still have to look at or question here in the near future, but we'll talk about that at the TEC level, RBC levels. And you guys are hosting the next TEC meeting on the 2nd and 3rd, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Bring your money.
Had to cancel my travel. I was on my way to New Mexico for enrollment conference.
Oh yeah.
That was going on, so yeah, I just canceled that. And yeah. So I don't know if your guys' enrollment staff's going over there, but that's really important conference when it comes to enrollment, you know. Yeah. Things, find out new things about other tribes and how they do things, and because we all know ours isn't perfect, and we all know ours can probably be improved because we have a lot of our band members that aren't enrolled anywhere because one tribe is prejudiced against the other, you know, and we gotta try to find a solution or fix that, you know, because we clearly see a lot of our Leech Lake, Red Lake, White Earth band members that where parents are from either Red Lake, White Earth, or Red Lake or Leech Lake, and we won't accept each other's blood quantum, and they're not enrolled because they don't have enough, you know. I see that a lot. In fact, that happened in my immediate family. My wife was Red Lake under her mother, and they wouldn't accept my kids to be enrolled there or on Leech Lake, so she transferred to Leech Lake under her dad, which is a Leech Lake elder. So now my kids got enrolled under Leech Lake, but both tribes were prejudiced against one another, so, and they're our next door neighbor, both White Earth and Leech Lake, and we all know we're the largest reservations in Minnesota right next door to one another, so we gotta try to find a solution or a way to fix that where all of our people stay enrolled and stay bonded. Yeah.
Yep, that's what's happening with us over here at Sandy Lake. Artie, my son, look, he's darker than I am, I think, and he can't get enrolled. That's why we're pushing Sandy Lake, restoration. We're trying to restore Sandy Lake, Ojibwe. They used to be a historic tribe back in the 1800s, 1700s. Matter of fact, everyone came through Sandy Lake at one time. So we're still trying to restore recognition. So one thing, we can get our young ones and future young ones enrolled in the tribe so we can maintain our identity as Sandy Lake Ojibwe.
Wasn't a president who did that?
He does a lot of studying. So, yeah, that's a really important point.
So anyone want any good Dale Senior?
I'd like to make a comment on that enrollment. Let's go back to the clan system. It has a lot to do with who you are.
Clan,
I can remember when I was young, when I brought a girl into the house, first thing before they even asked her name, they asked her, "Who's your dude?"
Hello.
And if it was the same one, this kind of the parents kind of discouraged us from seeing each other. Even that I went into adoption area. It's a very touchy subject about that. But I'd like to be involved in that.
yeah. I know there's 2 resolutions that we probably passed almost going on 2 years now, huh, Kev? On the TEC level with the United States, and it's still sitting in DC, the 2 resolutions talking about accepting other Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, Chippewa blood, and there's 2 different resolutions. Boys Fort, Grand Portage took the lead on one, because on their resolution they want to also accept Canadian blood from Canada, because they're right next door to our Anishinaabe brothers and sisters from Canada. And then the other resolution was I taking the lead on it because of Red Lake, Red Lake being right next door to us, and me knowing and dealing with a lot of enrollment issues on the Red Lake, Leech Lake, White Earth side throughout the years, that I've been in office. So we passed a resolution accepting all Ojibwe, Chippewa, Anishinaabe blood from Red Lake, Michigan, Wisconsin, wherever, so. We're still waiting on them to give us the green light to have a secretarial election, but now there's there's some questions from TEC members and RBC members about that whole issue that we gotta sit down and talk about, and I think we're gonna be talking about that at the next TEC meeting on November 3rd, I believe. So you should come to that, Dale. Second day, November 3rd, on a Thursday, I believe. Wednesday and Thursday you schedule meetings, huh, Kevin?
Yep.
Yeah.
Trying to establish working sessions to address the issues that are there, Constitution in itself, election ordinances, and everything else that's been the complaint for many, many years. And one thing that was done all the time was to keep the people's document away from the people. So when it was dealt with, it was always dealt with behind closed doors and there were separate meetings. And to establish the working sessions to get together, it's the people's document. They have a say-so in that document also. There's no secrecy behind it. There's no confidentiality behind it. And the only way for us to go in the future, I believe, is what I've been taught from a lot of you people in this room, is that's the way we're supposed to do it, is give it open to the people, to look for that constitutional reform because it's needed. But it's not just the Constitution. There's a whole lot of other things that apply with the Minnesota Chippewa tribe in itself, and to keep it as transparent as possible, to give the people their input in building these things, and not just to say the only time you get input is a secretary of or a secretary election or this or that. Have them work on it. It's their document. There's no reason to keep it from everybody anymore that way. So I think it's a move.
Yeah.
But like Archie said, yeah, I got, I guess, safest, simplest way to say it, I was put underneath a few people's arms. His mom, Dale Hanks, Marvin Penny, both Dales, Dale Green Sr., Dale Jr., Doc LaRose, John Moore, quite a few other people handed me a Constitution one day. Dale did, and I read it, and I didn't think anything about it. And then the next day he handed me the interpretations, and then just kind of flattened me there, and then handed me a copy of the 1854 treaty. And this was back in 1990 when I come home from the Marine Corps. And then that's where it started, and been there ever since with it. But you guys brought me here. It wasn't me. This wasn't my choice. I mean, I made a choice after I kind of understood a little bit, but the choice was given to me by you guys. And so the revolution's still moving. It's still going forward. And I think this is the way to do it, by consensus, but most importantly, by information. The people have to be notified. They have to be informed. And I don't completely agree with the issues about the resolutions from the tribe. And it's because you have to be able to inform 40,000 plus people. And still nobody has given me the answer how that's going to happen. And so hopefully now we can get working sessions together and we can figure out a way to inform and educate 40,000 plus people. Which?
Okay, getting back to number 4 here in old business. I haven't been involved in any recent discussions, but when I look at add 1855 board members, of course that's, we're gonna ask Fond du Lac if they want to join our efforts here. But when I read that, I believe that we have to enlarge our board membership, whether that's through creating more spaces on the board or creating these subcommittees where, there's other subcommittee board members. Because one of the things that I think that's really missing is the practical involvement of our members. I'm hoping when we get down to number 3 here in the next meeting that we hosted on Leech Lake, and we actually have a longer discussion on how we want to expand or bring more at-large members in, whether the reservation expands by 1 or 2 or 3 more board members or whatever ideal. That's what I read. The number 4 add 1855 board members.
Can I say something, Dale? Or,
Yeah, go ahead.
you know, I always find bringing it 8th Circuit up, you know, with the United States Court of Appeal, you know, so, you know, members, people are owners, you know. You know, every cert, you know, some of the people in the, the owners that live here, you know. I just wanted to know if you guys, you know, consider a few of us. Somehow, some way, like Bob Junick was stating a few meetings back. Just what I was kind of saying, you know. Well, Frank knows what I'm talking about. You know, just-
Both Frank and Joe represented you guys on that court stuff, so.
But I was gonna say, you know, the owners and all the people, you know, I know we're sitting and everything, but no. All the owners should have a little say somewhere too, in my opinion, you know, everybody else gets to whatever they know, but.
Yeah, they.
I don't wanna raise hell of anything, or throw a wrench in anything, you know, we're moving along fine, I like this, you know, but somewhere down the line, you know, the owner should be inserted, you know, somewhere, you know.
Yeah, and
As
you
some kind of a
and,
board, you know.
you and whatever owners are on here, if you wanna, you know, I have no problem with adding you on being a board member or
Yeah, matter-
anyone
matter.
else that's interested in here being a board member, I'm not against that, I'm all for it, you know, so if that's what we wanna do as a board, you know, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring that up to the table for you guys, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's from the 8th Circuit decision, Court of Appeals, you know.
Yeah.
8th Circuit, you know, said that, you know, I just wanted to follow through with it.
Yeah.
Might have a little more support and bearing on what we're doing, you know. Sometimes, you know, they say, oh, they're all RBC members, you know, and they
Yeah.
kinda took the.
We just wanna stay consistent, showing them that.
Quasi sovereign,
Yeah, actually,
you know,
it's
so
his
the
wife,
members are
Phyllis,
real
that's
sovereign
gonna be
people, you
one.
know, that's what I'm kinda, you know, you guys also just be here as a representative, but also.
Everybody.
Real solid people, you know.
Okay,
I'm not saying you
I think her
guys-
daughter.
No,
her
we're all,
daughter was
we're all
gonna
the
run.
same
It's
in
gonna
here,
be
you
up
know,
box
we're all
office,
here for the
just-
same cause
just
and
have
we
a
all
bigger
wanna,
idea on-
make it better for our
Okay.
people in the
Thank
long
you.
run, that's what it's all about, you know, is better serving our people and making sure our people have the rights that they're inherited to, you know, so,
Yeah, that's all I'm concerned about, you know.
yeah. Well, when I look for any direction or recommendations, I look at Joe, Frank, Dale, Kevin now since he's on board, Terry has some good knowledge and experience here, so I kinda look at them guys for a little direction, you know, I'm just, got nominated 2 years ago as the chairman by Ms. Shaw and the other board members, and I happily accepted, you know, just to help this cause out, you know, so that's why I'm here, and but I have no problem with you or
I feel
any
just make
other.
it strengthen a little bit more, just have
Yeah.
members, you know, on the sidelines or somewhere in that vicinity, you know what I mean? Or maybe you could bring it up at the next, 1855 meeting, you know? Or-
Well, I think we're working towards it. I
We're working
mean,
towards it, but just
Well, I
working it
mean-
in there some, at one of the meetings, you know?
Right. My only question is, you know, if Fond du Lac is interested in participating, that we understand that when we go to add members, so we adding
Yeah,
them all at the same time.
if they, yeah, because we gotta involve them too.
Yeah.
But right now, we currently have 8 board members and 3 officers,
We're
and
definitely missing one.
within the next meeting or two, if we wanna have a election, you know, and we can have election every 2 years, you know, we can have another election, you know, just so all officer seats are filled and all board members are here still participating, you know, that's what counts, we gotta keep this going, you know, and we made some big noise here already, and made some noise and made some movement, and we gotta keep moving on, plugging away here. Yeah, look what we did with the ricing now, you know what I mean, now they don't harass us or tell us we can't race in the ceded territories, now they accept it, and that's a good small baby step, but we know there's bigger and better steps out there for like hunting and netting and trapping, you know, we wanna do that stuff too, snaring, you know.
Just something brought it up.
Yeah, so if, you know, maybe we're not in position right now because we're not fully represented with all board members here,
Yeah,
but
I know what you're saying.
maybe at the next meeting, we could call, make mandatory all board members are here from all 4 entities, and then we can have a special election on the board members and officers, and if we even want to add 2, 3 board members, so I have no problem with that.
That's all good.
Well, you know, there's a lot of work, you know, and I would hope that as we go forward, that there's subcommittees that will work on, like the United Nations Indigenous Rights, like the pipelines, you know, those are 2 separate issues that can take up, you know, days at a time. And it seems that a lot of times when we come to the 1855 meeting, we're here for a very short time, and the work doesn't get spread out to where we can actually work on things. You know, I still want to put in the Bajamon on Leech Lake a simple form to record the stories of the people that have been harmed or damaged. You know, the ones that have had their rice seized, their canoe seized.
Well, me, I got jail. I
You
got jail
know,
twice.
somewhere I would hope that the federal courts say, well, how have you been harmed? And we should have affidavits or something collected that shows a sample of at least the recent few years here that I think Luke Wilson just approached me yesterday and had 3 or 4 different incidents of people within his family and outside of his family from the east end of the Leech Lake that have had their rice and property taken by the state DNR. And, you know, no one's recording this. And, you know, of course, then they don't get their day in court.
So they never approached or contacted Joe or Frank to represent them?
I can't answer that.
It's
'cause I
even
don't-
goofier than that, Archie. The state has changed the burden of proof or the starting, the initiating of the action to where if you get stopped for ricing and they take your rice, they give you a piece of paper for the inventory for that they've taken, and it says you've got 30 days to request a hearing. So if you don't request a hearing, they just keep your stuff and they never care.
Holy cow.
Right, it used to be you'd be arrested and charged and they'd set up a court
Yeah,
date,
yeah.
and then you'd have your day in court, but what they've done is they've taken it away from you in a sense. He said, if you really want a day in court, then you have to ask for it. Well, most of us don't ask for a day in court.
Yeah,
That's-
most
that's
of
not
them
the
don't
first-
know how to do that either, yeah.
Or fear that day in court.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right, how will it go? Right, so, you know, in a sense, I think they've done something that I'm not even sure is completely legal in that sense.
I think-
Change due process.
I think
like
there's
that.
can I speak? I know I'm not part of this, but when talking about a legal thing here, I think there's a part that everybody misses. And that part is what they take. They take a bag of rice, a sack of rice from you, and they don't know how to take care of that rice. And you get your hearing in 30 days. That entire sack of rice is spoiled. Years ago during Camp Truth in 1996, I had something taken away from me from the property. My truck, for one, I had an axe in the back of my truck, and I just ended up shooting a porcupine. And we were at Camp Truth, and I watched my truck go away. So I went in, I said, I don't care about the truck, take the truck. I want the federal plates that were taken off it. I want the axe, and I want the porcupine. And they laughed at me. They literally laughed in my face. And I said, I'm not leaving. Call the cops, call the National Guard, do whatever you're gonna do. You got the truck, I want the plates, I want my axe, and I want the porcupine. That was the fight. Nothing to do with the truck. Had nothing to do with the truck. I got my plates back. I got the porcupine back. And I got my axe back. I always remember that. I always remember what's taken is the key to the whole thing. It's not about the fine. It's not about the ticket. It's not about saying you can't rice or you can rice or you can trap or you can't trap. It's what they take from you. We'd lose something in our codes. It's called wanton waste. If we waste something, we're charged by our own people, a committee of our peers that makes that ruling against us. If we waste something in that manner and the court recognizes later that the rice that was there is not evidence, that's not my rice. The rice I had was green rice. It was fresh rice just off the lake. What you got is a sack of rotten rice. And it is a key to the whole thing. And then people may not believe me, but I think I proved that back in '96. Is it wasn't about the truck. It wasn't about anything in that manner. It had to do about the contents they took away from me. Same with fish. When we used to spear up on the North Shore, well, people still do, before the treaty case went into place, we would take fish, would spear from the rivers, trout, steelhead, and they would take them from us. But they always gave us the fish back, because that was the argument. That was the argument. You take something from us that you would say we're doing something wrong, then you better be able to present that in court and say we did something wrong. And so the hearing date you're talking about is 30 days later. Well, any fish is going to go bad in 30 days. Any meat's going to go bad. Any sack of rice that's not taken care of is going to go bad in 30 days. And that's the big key. And nobody ever looks at it. Whether that makes any sense to anybody, and maybe I'm just rambling, but I think it's part of it. It's your right to breathe clean air. It's your right to feed yourself. And it's your right to have fresh water, just like any other human being on the planet. We talked about something this morning in a meeting, and that's our home, our reservations. This is where we were put perpetually. This is where we were put perpetually. The United States government put us here, not to be removed from our homes in any way, shape, or form. So if we're forced into this, then we must be forced to live, and to live like any other human being that exists on the planet. I don't know if that makes any sense to everybody, but I hope it does, because you guys taught me it. But that's what it is. You can fight the issues within the confines of the reservation, and none of that. You should be able to fight the issues anywhere else. Big witch. And there's Roger Smith, District 3 Representative.
Buddha.
Bruce Savage, District
We all
2
have
Representative
nicknames.
Sawyer.
What's your nickname?
They had a meeting before the regular meeting, so, and I had to come and get something to eat.
Either one or an H?
Slide.
Well, we were trying to get done with our 55 stuff because we had some resolutions to pass. But, you know, we really were looking forward to meeting with the 1854 folks. And Art, if you want to move down to number 5 here, maybe Frank can give us a little history of the 54 and 55.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that, and I think we can, at our next meeting, I believe Dale might have suggested that we have it at the Northern Lights on Leech Lake, host the next meeting you recommended. We can,
As long as Rich pays for it.
Leech Lake will pay for it, but anyways, we'll get notices out to all board members, see if they can be their mandatory, so we can possibly have a new election on the board members and officers, and probably add some board members, and then maybe create a subcommittee or two like Dale suggested. That's a really good point, you know, and that's only gonna help us move better and faster in the long run, you know, if we did have maybe a subcommittee or two, you know, but at least create at least one subcommittee, so this subcommittee could work on the important issues on the side that we don't have time to work on, you know, as a board, you know, so that, good idea. Okay, let's move on to number 5, 1854, 1850.